If you pulled a copy of Goku/Gohan or the new Cell, then this video is 100% for you. If you didn't pull a single copy of these guys, but you know you want them in the future, then this video is still 100% for you. We're going to go through what I consider to be the best teams you can make for Cell and for this Goku. I will be covering both teams in this video. That way you don't have to wait for me to upload a different video later on. On top of that, I will be starting with the Cell team first, but I will put a timestamp in the description that allows you to jump to when I start talking about the Goku team in case you didn't, pull Cell. That way I don't just end up wasting your time, so keep that in mind. But I have to catch at least one person really quick with today's very quick subscriber challenge, which is this. You know who you are. I need you to be very honest with me. If you spent more than 500 Dragon Stones combined on both of these banners, you know who you are. You got caught lacking today, and you have to subscribe to the channel. Don't BS me, dude. You know your stone count and how many stones you spent. And yeah, I'm looking straight at you, buddy. All right. But if you didn't spend more than 500 and you've been, holding back just a little bit, I can appreciate that, and you can skip today's subscriber challenge. I will catch you lacking in the next one. Stay tuned for that, and let's hop straight into today's video. Starting off with the team for Cell. Keep in mind that this Cell, he does change the links quite often when he starts to transform and stuff, so building a team around him is definitely a little bit weird. On top of that, his partners are not that great. You'll see that as we move on, but I still think we managed to build a pretty solid team for this Cell. So obviously the first thing that you're going to need is the new Dokkan Fest Cell as your leader. I was gonna try and prioritize building a different team, but I feel like his team, specifically with a 200% lead, definitely works really, really well. So you want to have this guy as your leader. And for his, the first main rotation that you want to run is your Cell or the friend Cell with the this int LR Cell. Now, I know that this guy right here is aged, all right? Keep in mind that he does have an extra 60% to attack and defense now from not only your lead, but the friend lead combined. So this guy's stats are going to look a lot better. And once this guy is like fully built up, or not fully built up, but when he's at his max, he's actually going to look pretty freaking powerful. I know that, again, he's aged, but this is still like one of the best, one of the best units linking wise that you can actually run with this Cell. Keep in mind that if this guy is link level 10 and you have things like Big Bad Bosses active, he's going to get a lot of extra power as well. So Big Bad Bosses plus the extra 60% from both leaders. This guy, I already seen screenshots of this guy breaking 300k defense, right, with this new team. So even though, again, he's aged, he's not going to hold you back as much as you possibly think. But again, you do need these links definitely leveled up. Also, keep in mind that this guy is going to get an EZA sometime soon. We know this at this point, and when he gets an EZA, this rotation is going to be a lot better. So this rotation, even though it's definitely good, all right, and this Cell is going to be, the main focus of the rotation. When this guy gets an EZA, things can definitely change. So this team I'm building right now has potential for the future as well, not just right now. The next major rotation I want to cover is going to be the tech androids with the int android support. Now, this unit right here, I feel like is one of the most underrated Dokkan Fest to have dropped. Not only are they underrated, but now they have a 200% team. This unit is going to be absolutely disgusting on this 200% team. I need everyone to understand that this unit is super, super, super powerful. And when you link them up with this android unit, who not only is healing, not only is supporting android, but they have a nullification, this is going to be one of the strongest defensive rotations, especially within this team. Usually when you're building teams and you have like the new Dokkan Fest unit, the other rotation sometimes ends up lacking a little bit in terms of power and in terms of defense. This is not the case for this rotation right here. The power coming from this unit is going to be insane. Their defense is going to be really, really powerful, and the defense of this unit is going to be really, really good. The healing is going to be really, really good. The support, the android support, is going to be really, really good. And then remember, the extra healing from the nullification is going to be quite exquisite as well. So I do think these two will work very, very well as a rotation, a very strong one at that. So far, That's 4 units on our team. We do need 3 more in total. So the units that I basically designated to float off or float, you know, basically be in that 3rd slot. 1, we do have this second form cell. Now this second form cell, you can actually run him on rotation with this unit here. The reason why I'm basically putting him off rotation, again, you can do what you want. It's just I like the idea of this guy floating and giving, especially this rotation, let me go ahead and just do this, especially this rotation, a lot of attack and defensive support. So this cell with an extra 40% to attack and defense on rotation, he's going to be looking pretty good, I'm telling you right now, especially this cell. So I think having one of these he's not too OP. Like, this guy is not like the craziest unit of all time, right? But this support is going to make him very potent in that 3rd slot, allowing the rest of your rotation to hit very hard. He will also be supporting this rotation as well when he comes on it. So imagine this android with now 80% to attack and defense from both of these supports. It's going to be a very strong rotation when this guy is on the main rotations. The next unit I want to talk about is going to be the LR androids themselves. I do like them as a 3rd slot unit because they are raising attack and defense on both 12 and 18 key. You want to prioritize this 12 key because they are 18 key because they are greatly raising defense. If you can get it, make sure to please get it. But if not, at least they're still raising defense. They do get attack and defense on super attack, so they're basically made to not be in the 1st slot, and they're going to super attack before they get attacked. So 3rd slot is definitely the best, you know, place for them. They're also getting giving 4 key and 50% defense. So this rotation is going to get 50% defense. This rotation is getting 50% defense, and that 4 key is going to be very valuable for this cell right here to help you get that 18 key and to help you get that extra power off if necessary. So again, now you have 2 very strong floating units that are going to be supporting the rotations that really don't need it here. And last unit obviously is going to be the friend cell. Now this friend cell, you know, he's not going to be the craziest unit of all time, especially when he's floating. But I will mention this: when this guy's on any of your main rotations, he will also be getting some, I guess not this one, to be fair. But when he's on this rotation, he will be getting, you know, buffed from the 19 and 20. So I guess it is just worth mentioning that. But overall, I do think this is a pretty powerful team for this cell. The partners for cell kind of suck right now, so I'm just banking on the fact that this guy will get an easy A at some point. But 1 rotation, 2 rotations, and then float support, and then a very powerful floater as well. Keep that in mind. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the cell portion of this video, but now let's move on to the Goku portion of this video, starting off with our leader, which is going to be the new Super Saiyan Goku / Super Saiyan Gohan. Now, I'm telling you right now, I need you to please understand this. The Android / Cell Saga portion of their leader skill to give them 200%, right, to Super Saiyans and Goku's family, this is not a great leader skill at all. Some of these units are pretty powerful, right? But when it comes to working together as a team, it's just not going to be the greatest. So some of the units I have on this, you know, Goku / Gohan team do not fit the 200% lead, which I feel like, again, I had to build it outside. I mean, they're still going to be lead. So they're both, like, this unit themselves are getting the 200% buff. And some units on the team will be getting the 200% buff. But again, it's just one of those things where it's like, because this is so limited and the options here are so limited, I didn't want to force myself to bring all units within this category. I wanted to still make a really strong team, keeping, you know, their leader skills, Super Saiyans, and Goku's family in consideration. So hopefully you understand that. Let's just hop into the team now. So the first main rotation I will be basically discussing here is this Goku / Gohan and the AGL Gohan himself. Now this guy, I understand, again, same thing with Cell, he's definitely aged, but now with the 200% leader skill, which he does have access to now, he's going to get an extra 60% to attack and defense from both leader skills combined. So he's going to look a lot better than what he previously looked. Anything, if you have a specific, you know, opinion about this guy, throw that opinion out. At least see what he can do under the new 200% leader skill. I just urge you to go ahead and do that. Now, keep in mind that this Goku / Gohan is meant for long events. Unless you have dupes in this unit, you're not going to be able to pump out a lot of additionals, which makes it really hard to exchange with this guy. So this unit is made for long events, which is perfect for this Gohan. You can have this Gohan in slot 1 stacking up his defense while this Goku's getting off the super attacks, and once they exchange, this Gohan is going to be super broken. This is a slot 1 unit, and now you have a really powerful slot 2 unit who has a lot of defense built up as well, because sometimes when it comes to certain teams, you have one really powerful or OP unit, and their support, or not support, but their partner isn't really that great, and they can end up dying really fast. It won't be the case with this guy, because again, you want to stack defense with him first, put him in the first slot, make sure you prioritize his super attacks. Again, I know this Goku needs his super attacks as well, but this unit is not going to hit too hard anyways. And then once you go ahead and exchange with this guy, then this Gohan will have a lot of defense to allow you to, you know, tank anything you need to tank in the first or second slot, depending on, you know, how you want to go ahead and run your team. So keep that in mind. That is the first slot, first main rotation of this team. The second main rotation is going to be the friend, or I guess your Goku / Gohan, depending on which one you use for the Gohan rotation, with the LR Namek Goku. Now, this guy is not being supported by the 200% lead, but now he does have access to a full 170 lead, for Super Saiyan, which of course is very good. Now, this guy, same case with this Goku. I love the design here, because this guy, he is a slot 1 unit. You need him to be in that slot 1 to stack up his defense very fast. And while you're doing that, you can get the super attacks off with this Goku / Gohan unit. And once you exchange, this unit will be the new OP slot 1 unit, and you're gonna have another really powerful slot 2 unit who has a lot of defense and a lot of utility to offer. And they do share 6 out of 7 links, I believe. And I do think those rotations, I mean, these two guys share 7 links together. So if these two share 6, these two are also going to be sharing 6 links, so keep that in mind. But that's basically it for the 2 main rotations. Now let's move on to the floating units you want to have, basically either supporting or just, you know, basically making the whole rotation complete. The first unit is going to be the Heart Virus Goku. Now, this guy does fit under the 200% buff, and we know this dude is a broken regardless, okay? This guy is really powerful, especially defensively within the first few turns of a fight, so he could be that SBR killer for you if you need him to be. Now, keep in mind that this guy does sacrifice a little bit of HP. Keep in mind that after 5 turns, he does lose his damage reduction, but at least he still has it again. If you fall below 59% HP, which I think is very fair. And then he also gets a little extra defense as well. So just keep that in mind. This guy, I do think, is a very powerful 3rd slot option to help you take the least amount of damage of wow, I can't speak English. The least amount of damage as possible in that 3rd slot. Then we have 2 other units here. These guys are not going to be on the 200% lead, but they're still going to be buffed pretty significantly here. So first one is going to be this AGL Gohan. He does fit under the Goku's family portion of this leader skill, and when he's floating, he's going to be giving 58% defense and 3 ki. That's going to be huge for this rotation as well as this rotation, especially in the first few turns when this Gohan needs a little bit of extra defense, and so does this Goku. So this guy, I do think, is a perfect, you know, slot 3 option. Keep in mind that this guy's also stacking defense, which makes it an even better slot 3 option. And on top of that, if you manage to get his active skill off, what are the actual requirements here? Oh yeah, easy. Once you get his active skill off, not only will he be recovering HP, not only will he be guarding, but he's going to raise the defense of all allies for 2 turns. So everyone for the turn he's on and the turn he's not on will be getting an extra 20% defense, which can definitely save you in long content that that could end up hitting you really hard. So this guy, I do think, is an amazing slot 3 options for you to have on this team. And then last but not least, we do have this Goku, who again is an amazing slot 3 unit. You do have a Goku's family support, which, by the way, this whole team is basically Goku's family. So this rotation will be getting the buff, as well as this rotation will be getting the buff as well. On top of that, this guy does greatly stack defense every super attack. So guess what? He is going to be hella tanky in that 3rd slot, which again makes him extremely viable, and you can trust him, because sometimes it sucks having a unit in the 3rd slot that just can't tank hits. That's not the case for this guy, that's not the case for this guy, and it is not the case for this guy. So you're going to have 3 floating units that are either supporting, these two are supporting, but all three of these are going to be really good defensively in the long ends of the content, which makes sense because this guy is built for long events anyways, and you have two defensive stackers that are going to get in the job done as well. So let me know what you guys think. I do think this is definitely one of the best teams you can make for Goku and one of the best teams you can make for Cell. You can probably change a few things around and make a really strong team that way too. But and just in terms of consistency, in terms of making sure every single rotation is supported or having really good floating units, I do think this is, again, definitely some of the best teams you can make. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Take care and peace.